Hey guys, in this video we break down some of the absolute best cities to live in the entire state of Florida for young professionals specifically. We've created a mock rating system of sorts to help you either further decide which city might be a better fit for you, and if you're especially under 40 years of age, this video is a must-see. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Thanks for tuning in. We really appreciate it. I am Adam Hancock. I decided to do this topic just because I'm 35. I feel like I went through a lot of these similar things over the years. I've lived in 9 cities in Florida, 9 or 10, and kind of went through all these evolutions. And younger people, especially, with the cost and just the work environments in a lot of retirement-based cities, we've been getting a lot of questions related to this topic. If you're kind of rising in your career, where to go, what's cooler, what's more fun, etc. So I hope this one adds you some value, and let's get started. Okay, so what I'm deeming a quality of life metric that I built is based on 4 main facets. First one being leisure. So beaches, museums, art, outdoor recreation that's more leisurely. What's plentiful and abundant here in these Florida cities. The second one is professional opportunity. How plentiful jobs are, which industries are most abundant, which entrepreneurship, tech, starting business opportunity, etc., and how much is that available if you want options and you want to make choices and you don't want to be in a silo. Third is wellness/challenge, mental and physical challenge, cycling, yoga, gyms, outdoor fitness opportunities, clubs, etc. And finally, social. How many people around are similar ages? How many people around are trying to do similar things? Social opportunities in general. We're going to hit everything, including clubs, restaurants, the whole gamut. So this blend of a total balanced mixed-use lifestyle, which I'm seeing really abundant. People don't want like a home and a work to be completely siloed. They want a blended life that doesn't make you feel like you're escaping in some facet. That's what I'm going for here. Okay, in no particular order, number 1 on this list, one of the fastest growing markets in the entire state, where I spent the last 5 years of my life, the always emerging Tampa Bay, Florida. Okay, locationally, the Tampa Bay, Florida area, in my mind, encompasses Hillsborough County, which is the true Tampa to the east, Pinellas County, which is west, that's where the beaches are, downtown St. Petersburg, etc., Pasco County, which is the northern line, like right above New Tampa and Newport Richey area. All of that would be true Tampa Bay. And then Sarasota, Florida is about an hour south of that. Then Naples is about 2 more hours south of that. And then people kind of looking to move to Southwest Florida, Tampa's about the northernmost tip of that conversation. They're typically shopping like a Naples versus Sarasota versus Tampa. So all of that would be one area I would look at in general, but a pretty awesome proximity to Florida as a whole. Okay, let's first talk quality of life. So Tampa Bay, Florida is a interesting mix. Architecture, landmarks, a relatively up-and-coming vibrant business district, Cuban and Spanish influence because of the migration throughout the Florida coast, beautiful waterways, and just a really good balance of live, work, play, and relax. One of the main districts that's absolutely exploding in this area is definitely downtown Tampa. You have urban parks, you have the Riverwalk, which is a new district that they're really embracing. You have restored buildings that are turning into modern restaurant venues like Armature Works. You have open container on the dock side of almost like a walking trail through many different restaurants. Like you have Eulalie, you have hip bars, you have just innovation all around. Sparkman's Wharf, Pods containers that are combining to be like a shopping restaurant district right next to the Tampa Bay Lightning Stadium. You have the University of Tampa that sits right there. And all of this mixes right on the fringe of the downtown business district. So including the Glazer Museum of Art, you have green spaces for just kind of hanging out and taking a break. And that's what I'm talking about. A mix here is someone that's really looking for all of that in a city that's not incredibly overwhelming. Then this is a really the spot that looks like they're trying to get there. Okay, another spot in Tampa Bay worth mentioning is definitely Ybor City. This is an entire area that was centered around the Cuban cigar rolling industry back in the 1800s. And now it sits as a little bit more edgier part of town. So this would be a more eclectic side, red brick buildings, live music, clubs, Tampa Bay Brewing's down there, Tampa Bay Improv's down there. But it would be a little bit more on that side of things versus some of the uppity up parts of town.
Okay, in contrast stylistically to Ybor City, let's talk Hyde Park. Hyde Park's in South Tampa, and it's basically a neighborhood full of restored bungalow type of housing amongst a 6-block village of shops and boutiques, restaurants, and a myriad of different brands with fitness and grocery speckled in. Okay, next, you definitely can't talk about Tampa without talking about sports. So if you're the sports fanatic in the family, there's a ton at your disposal here and within close proximity. Tampa Bay Bucks, Raymond James Stadium's right outside of downtown Tampa. The Steinbrenner Field, the Yankee spring training's literally across the street from that. Tampa Bay Lightning are in the middle of downtown in Channelside, and a lot of the development of that, including Sparkman's Wharf, from what I understand, is Jeffrey Vinnick, who owns the Lightning. The Rays are just across the bay in St. Petersburg, right outside of downtown. The Rowdies, the soccer team's also in St. Petersburg, right outside of downtown. So, and with all the tremendous success, albeit at the time of this recording, Tom Brady has officially retired, so we'll see what happens there. But tremendous success, a lot of kind of fun sports town at the moment because of the energy, and it's a melting pot for people that live in the city. So you do have a mix of different fans or whatever. But whether you're more of a watch party kind of guy or gal, or you like to attend these events, it's some of the easiest sporting events I've ever attended. They let you bring in snacks. The parking's not bad. It's nothing like trying to attend an event in the cold in the Northeast. So really a cool emerging sports town, in my opinion. Okay, and lastly for leisure, let's talk coastal access. So as Tampa is a large area and it's very far inland, Tampa actually has no beaches, right? So west of Tampa is Tampa Bay. And then you got to go to Pinellas County, which is going to be all of your Gulf Coast. So St. Petersburg is actually quite a cool place. And if you live in St. Pete, that's still the access to work in Tampa. So these are in unison. So you have some of the way this town is set up, unlike Sarasota, is over here you have downtown St. Petersburg on the bay. And the most popular living district is historic Northeast. So it's all bayfront. And then the Gulf is over here. So the beach is here, bay is here, and it's about 25 minutes apart. But you have some of the most world-class beaches all in that county. So you have Clearwater as the northernmost tip of the Barrier Islands, Treasure Island, St. Petersburg Beach, Paso Grill, Tierra Verde. So a lot at your disposal there before you get down to the Sarasota area. And then downtown St. Petersburg is almost like a less business culture, laid-back, more eclectic version of Tampa Bay. So there's many more shops, many more restaurants. It's a little bit more indie hipster vibe as you get closer to the coast, but a ton of stuff. It's very lovely, very, very walkable. There's upscale places like Beach, and then more eclectic places like Janus Landing or the Rocker Bar District, Central Avenue. Some of the most breweries per capita is in this area as well, including Green Bench and Cycle, and there's dog bars. There's all kinds of stuff. So a really nice option if you're looking for a little bit more laid-back version of living in downtown Tampa. Okay, next in the quality of life spectrum, let's talk professional and economic opportunity. The city of Tampa is considered the third most populous city in the entire state of Florida, and it's also considered the economic hub of West Central Florida. A few interesting tidbits for you is Hillsborough County actually has one of the highest totals of available jobs at the moment. They were ranked number 4 in the entire United States for job growth. This one's unique. Net migration of 20 to 29-year-olds is ranked number 1 to Tampa Bay. And the biggest cities they're leaping from are places like Denver, Seattle, and Austin, Texas. Historically, it's done that on the back of tourism, healthcare, finance, tech, insurance, construction, and maritime. And finally, to round out economics, near and dear to my heart, entrepreneurship, Tampa Bay is ranked very high amongst best places to start a business in Florida. Tampa was number 5 and St. Petersburg number 14 on the top 100, and very high marks in just logistics stuff like office space affordability, acquisition of workers, etc., but also high marks on startups per capita. And that's one thing I've noticed the city really, really embracing is creating an environment with a mixed-use life of attracting businesses to start here because the no state income tax, they're incentivizing businesses to come. And it's a nice town if you want to be in a city and you want to be in the thick of it, but don't want to be in like a mini Manhattan. Tampa Bay could be a nice balance. Okay, moving right along, when it comes to health and wellness, the Tampa Bay area has quite a bit going on. As we are in coastal Florida, let's first talk proactive water life. If you like to kayak, you like to paddleboard, even paddleboard fish, there's multiple things at your disposal here in Tampa Bay because of the vast amount of territory plus the unique shape. So a couple to rattle off here. You have that river that I mentioned that runs along downtown. That's a great spot to kayak or paddleboard and people watch because it's downtown. You have the bay itself, Tampa Bay, which is so a little calmer waters between Tampa and St. Petersburg. You have Hillsborough River State Park if you're looking a little bit more nature-centric, or you can hop all the way across to the beach and hit one of the barrier islands, and you can be right out there in the thick of things if you want to mix it up. Okay, another unique one that's emerging in this area that is a little too much for my broken old man body is kite surfing. Kite surfing is getting very popular. You have a myriad of different places that people come to amongst Tampa Bay, and then one of the main hitters that you would see if you're just kind of cruising around is definitely Fort DeSoto Park. Another option for you fitness folks beyond the traditional low-hanging regular gym culture is getting outside, especially when it comes to functional fitness. It's very big in Tampa Bay. The boot camps and all the like Curtis Hickson Park and all the green spaces and stuff mixed within the town. The boot camp and group class fitness outside thing is emerging. And well beyond just like running clubs and that kind of thing. So if you're into a certain specific type of working out and you want some accountability around a group, then Tampa's a fantastic spot for that. Okay, and finally, to round out health and wellness in the Tampa Bay area, let's talk the other catch-all category. So whether you're looking for yoga, being on the beach, hot yoga, etc., plenty of options there. If you're into cycling, there's everything from Soul Cycle to a bunch of road biking trails, so you're never going to run out of stuff there in Hillsborough County. There is bar fitness, there is dance fitness, there is MMA gyms almost in every part of town these days. And then if you just want to simply chill and relax, there is a huge kind of push for sauna, which I'm a big fan, cryo, so there's gyms that just do this kind of stuff, IV treatments, there is day spas all around town, downtown Tampa, South Tampa, the West Shore District. So really something to rest and rejuvenate no matter what you're looking for. Okay, lastly, let's talk social demographics. So Tampa, Florida sits at about 400,000 plus in population. Median age of only about 35, and it's considered one of the absolute fastest growing cities in the country as a whole, but definitely Florida. Tampa and Orlando have seen kind of a real push by the state as a focus for growth, and it's getting younger, it's getting more urban, but there's also quite a bit of a balance. So you can, because of the way the city's shaped, you can seek to be in the thick of it, and you can kind of control the demographic as far as age, right? So downtown Tampa, you can get a sense of, the condo life and the hustle and bustle, but there's also like many laid back versions. You can go to the east for the suburbs of Brandon, to the north for Wesley Chapel suburbs, to the west of West Chase. You could do Safety Harbor, Clearwater, Feather Sound. Downtown St. Pete gives a younger but a different vibe than downtown Tampa in work versus non. So generally it's going to be a little bit more youthful and definitely a push for young professionals because of all that it offers without having to leave. But if you wanted to seek out a pocket of that within the total demographic, in my opinion, it's rather easy to achieve that as well. Okay, number 2 on this list, home to the 3rd largest skyline in the entire United States, over 300 single high-rise buildings, and by far the largest urban economy in the entire state of Florida, the always bustling city of Miami. Okay, locationally first, Miami is going to put you all the way on the southeastern coast of the state of Florida, basically a straight shot over to the west from Marco Island, and just below Fort Lauderdale and Boca, and about 3.5 hours to Sarasota, Florida. Okay, quality of life-wise, Miami, Florida is one of not only the state, but the world's most popular destination spots because there's kind of something for everyone. First up, the low-hanging fruit, you have the Miami beaches. So you have things like South Beach, the always popping, always a lot going on. And then you have hidden gems, one of my favorites, like Key Biscayne. And then you can go over to family-friendly stuff like Surfside. So really a full gamut and spectrum depending on what you're looking for. Okay, and then you come back inland and you have the shopping. Myriad of options here. You have luxury flagships, you have lavish outdoor options, you have indie boutiques, you have budget-friendly family-owned places. You have the largest single mall in the entire state of Florida. So if you're a shopaholic in any sense of the word, it's got everything you need. Okay, another one for the quality of life leisure section. Let's talk Miami sports. So the benefit of being in a major metro especially is when it comes to sports and especially professional sports. So Miami has the Miami Dolphins for football. They have the Miami Heat in downtown for basketball. The Miami Marlins for baseball. They have Inter Miami CF for soccer. Florida Panthers for hockey. University of Miami for college sports and multiple other universities there as well. So while Miami does give you in this part of the state a ton of reason to stay outside with the weather, it's a relatively popping sports town as well. Okay, so another thing the city of Miami is definitely famous for is kind of the annual event spectrum. Basically, the city knows how to throw a party. You have Ultra Music Festival. You have the International Boat Show. You have Jazz Fest. You have Cali Ocho, the music festival. Can't forget about Fashion Week. Multiple brewery beer-based festivals. You have Pride festivals and many, many more excuses to congregate and enjoy some relaxation. All right, moving right along on quality of life, one of the other things I wanted to mention was you can't talk about Miami without talking about the nightlife. So Greater Miami and Miami Beach, world-class destination for nightlife and really something to suit every mood you're in. Whether you feel like heading out to a world-famous late-night club like Live, you want to go over to Little Havana for a dance, or just chill with a few friends at a boutique indie cocktail type of bar, there is a wide array of options, and you definitely will not be searching for things to do. So all in all, just kind of wrapping up the quality of life leisure aspect of Miami, Florida, it's a large metro. If you want to be around the thick of the action, you want to be where things come first, and you want to be around a lot of people, and where opportunity exists in a bountiful manner, and you're okay with how busy it is, and the hustle and bustle aspect of it, there is a lot of perks to being in a city of this size and all the things that come with that. Okay, next up in the quality of life balance, let's talk professional and economic opportunity in Miami, Florida. Miami is a major leader and center in multiple industries, including finance, economics, art, culture, and international trade. Like I mentioned earlier, largest urban economy in the entire state and 12th largest in the United States as a whole. The city has also recently become a pretty significant hub for research institutes, medical centers, biotech, in addition to being considered the Port of Miami itself, the cruise capital of the entire world for more than 2 decades. Furthermore, Greater Downtown Miami itself is home to one of the single largest collections of international banks in the entire United States. In addition to that, is home to many large national and international companies. So basically, whether you are just graduating school, want to have a dream to want to move to sunny Florida and start your career, you are a little bit in your career and want to take some leaps, you want to change careers, you want to start a business, a city of this scale with many companies that are kind of competitors to each other in the same city, and just the total bandwidth of opportunity, in my opinion, allows a lot of flexibility. Because if you're in like a small place like in the Panhandle or somewhere tinier, then your company might be the major force, which allows them a little bit more control than you. This kind of city would be hard pressed to not find an opportunity if you want to move. And some of the biggest opportunity in my career has been continuing to stay flexible and move throughout to leverage your current position. All right, next up, health and wellness in Miami, Florida. Whether you are a runner, you are a yoga aficionado, you like to dive, you like to play beach volleyball, whatever strikes your fancy, Miami, Florida has really something to fit every health and fitness fanatic. Okay, gym infrastructure-wise, there's plenty of options, whether that be Soul Cycle at Miami Beach, you have Equinox. If you like that, you have the Dog Pound, you have Anatomy Miami. So plenty to get out there and really choose between stylistic and locational options. If you're more the take it outside kind of fitness person, then Miami is a great place to take advantage of all that sunshine. You know, Miami Beach is a fantastic place for either a morning or a sunset run/walk. Sand volleyball there's public courts at 8th and Ocean. You can even do complimentary yoga in the morning at 3rd. So really plenty to get into there, organized and non, if that's more your style. All right, and lastly, on the health and wellness aspect in Miami, let's not forget about the eating part of it. And a city like this, the options are quite plentiful. You have Joe and the Juice for cold-pressed juices. You have Pure Vita for more leafy greens. Jar and the Fork is an interesting option. You have bunny cakes, even for the sweets, paleo, gluten type of side of that. So not hard to basically stay on course to not make all of that hard work in the gym go to waste. Okay, and lastly, on quality of life in Miami, Florida, let's talk social demographics. So as of the last census, you had about 500,000, just under 500,000 total people in the city of Miami. That puts you at the second largest city in the entire state of Florida. Now, what's interesting is the median age was about 40, so you got half of the population under 40, and then about 77% of the total population over 18, which is going to put you as a young professional at a lot of people in a similar life stage to you. Okay, number 3 on this list, a city known for its hospitality, a truly magical place. We are talking about Orlando, Florida. Okay, so locationally, Orlando, Florida is technically in Central Florida, and it sits about 60 miles northwest of Melbourne, about 85 miles northeast of Tampa, and is one of the state's most populous metros. So quality of life and leisure-wise, you're actually going to have a pretty interesting mix here. The low-hanging fruit is, obviously, it's a very popular destination spot for visitors because of all the theme parks, etc. But for day-to-day living, young families, singles, foodies, if you're into outdoor recreation, you like to shop, etc., there's really a lot more going on than people realize. While the city was definitely built on that theme park fame, there's numerous other Orlando, Florida attractions that make the city pretty interesting. World-class restaurants, really high-end shopping, definitely when it comes to outlets, theater venues, amazing sporting venues, world-class theaters, and much, much more.
So one of the big things about this area is definitely golf. So what's cool about the city is pretty much every major player and architect golf-wise has some sort of presence in Orlando. And that gives golf fanatics access to some of the most challenging, sought-after, beautiful courses in the entire state of Florida, really at their fingertips, including the world-famous Bay Hill. Eat and drink-wise, Orlando, Florida residents have everything from celebrity chef-driven restaurants, James Beard honorees, you have family-friendly, there's sleek lounges, jazz-type nightclubs, breweries, wineries, sports-focused pubs, and much, much more. Whether you're hungry or you're thirsty or both, you're definitely not going to run out of options in this area. Switching gears briefly to arts and culture, Orlando, Florida, albeit the theme park capital of the world, is also rapidly emerging as someone that cultivates and promotes the arts. There is musical concerts, there's live performances, there are multiple museums, there are a myriad of different venues, and a lot of different things at your disposal, including events like EDC Orlando, you have Immerse, Fusion Fest, and much, much more. Okay, for the sports fan in the crew, especially if you love soccer and basketball, Orlando is also a great spot. You have Orlando City Soccer, you have Orlando Pride, which both play at a really ultra-modern venue called Exploria, which is in downtown Orlando. You also have the Amway Center, which hosts Orlando Magic, which I think plays about 40-plus home games a year, so a ton going on there. And then you have some college football bowl hosting and a myriad of other little offshoots, but all in all, a pretty cool spot for that. Okay, so all in all, leisure-wise in Orlando, Florida, whether you are sticking around because you graduated from UCF or a local university and you prefer it over Tampa, you're attracted to the nightlife, the outdoor recreation, all the opportunities that come with the city being that size with the multiple suburbs, there should be something to fit your needs in some capacity if you like the location as a whole, just in the pure amount of total opportunity that is covered in a metro of this size. Okay, secondly, on Orlando, Florida quality of life, total balance. Let's talk economic and professional opportunity. Okay, so the U.S. News and World Report recently rated Orlando about a 7 out of 10 as far as overall job and professional opportunity health went. The major employers are Walt Disney World, you have JetBlue Airlines based here, actually the Golf Channel's based here. University of Central Florida is a big one, and a lot of development programs. If you like video games, Electronic Arts, EA, created a lot of the popular ones actually based in Orlando, including the Madden series. Furthermore, future job growth in Orlando, Florida is expected to be about 20% higher than the national average, and because of the options of being able to live on the fringes or in different small suburbs, overall housing cost and apartment leases, and as crazy as they are, might be a little bit easier to obtain in a city that is based like this one versus a smaller niche area that's more coastal. Okay, next up when it comes to quality of life, let's talk health and wellness in Orlando, Florida. Okay, first on that list, running. Orlando, Florida possesses miles and miles of trails, parks, and roadways, in addition to a ton of boutiques and national chain stores for gear. And then furthermore, quite a few annual events such as the Walt Disney World Marathon to get involved in a more professional setting. You can actually get a little bit more creative as well with outdoor recreation like Tree Tech, which is zip lining. You have Orlando Revolution, which is like ATVs and dune buggies. Bunch of different options for adventure paddle type of stuff for kayaking and paddle boarding. There's boat tours and many, many other ways to use this beautiful swath of land. On the more relaxation and rejuvenation side, one of the benefits of having a city that is heavily supported by tourism is the very large presence of resort-style amenities. And Orlando is no different. You have the Aveda line, you have Blue Harmony, Marriott has quite a big presence here. You have cryos, spas, saunas, a lot of ways to keep yourself in tip-top shape. Okay, and lastly, to round out quality of life in Orlando, Florida, let's talk social demographics. Okay, size-wise, Orlando, Florida is considered about 288,000 people, and the median age is only about 34 years old. So as a young professional and having a mix of people a little bit older and a little bit younger, it's pretty well-rounded in my opinion. Okay, and our fourth and final city on some of the best places to live overall for young professionals, the most populous in the entire state of Florida, and the largest by area in the contiguous United States, we are talking Jacksonville, Florida. Okay, locationally, Jacksonville, Florida is located on the Atlantic coast. It straddles St. Johns River in what's considered the First Coast region. So it's very far northeast in the state of Florida, and it puts you just about 25 miles south of the Georgia state line, and then south of that, it puts you about 330 miles north of Miami. Okay, quality of life-wise, Jacksonville's location is a pretty different side of the state in my opinion. You have an interesting combination of coastal proximity, but then a heavy influence of an outdoor nature-centric community. You know, you have 20 plus miles of beaches, you have world-class fishing, you have a rather extensive park system, coastal cuisine, historic neighborhoods, there's breweries, there's a rather eclectic art scene, and more. Jacksonville contains miles of untouched woodlands, marshes, beaches, and waterways. The city actually boasts the largest single urban park system in the entire country with over 80,000 untouched acres. With the Florida weather and all this area has at its disposal, it's definitely not going to be very hard to get outside and stay active if that's what you fancy. North Florida, the region as a whole, is also a popular spot for surfing, fishing, swimming, and boating. On the history, arts, and culture side, the city of Jacksonville really stands out when it comes to museums, galleries, and performing arts. There's a rather unique blend of festivals, live music, art events, and exhibitions. Sports fan-wise, the city of Jacksonville also has quite a bit to offer. College football-wise, it hosts 2 different major sporting events a year, including the iconic Florida-Georgia game, as well as the Tax Slayer Bowl. Sports on the professional level offers the Jacksonville Jaguars, which is definitely the major one in the NFL. You have also the Icemen, which is a minor league hockey team, and they do host the Jumbo Shrimp, which is a AAA MLB affiliate. You also can't talk about the city of Jacksonville without speaking about golf. Some of the best courses in the entire state of Florida. You have TPC Sawgrass. They host the Players Championship every year. You have King and Bear. About 22 different courses within the city, and then several 20, 30, 40 more within 20, 30 miles up and down the Atlantic coast. Okay, to round out our leisure in Jacksonville, Florida, let's talk food and drink. The city boasts everything from upscale bistros to Southern charm to fish camps, all the way to food trucks and everything in between. If you're more in the mood for a liquid meal, you'll definitely want to check out the multitude of options when it comes to local coffee shops, the Jacksonville Ale Trail, and the city itself boasts over 20 plus craft breweries. Known as the River City, Jacksonville, Florida is one of the fastest growing single areas in the southern United States, boasting an over 11% growth rate in the last decade. So at such a high net migration, it is important to know kind of where the city stands economically when it comes to industry. So healthcare was number 1 by far, retail number 2, insurance and finance came in 3, and then hospitality rounded out the top 4. So some of your major hitters employer-wise, you have Amazon, Citibank, JP Morgan Chase, AT&T, Bank of America has a large presence here, you have Mayo Clinic, Southeastern Grocers, and expected job growth is really positive over the forecast for the next decade. They're guessing about 44% in net increase over the next decade, which puts you at about 10 to 11 percentage points higher than the national average. Okay, moving right along, let's talk health and wellness in Jacksonville, Florida. Okay, this one I'm not going to belabor too much because we kind of circled around it earlier in the video. With this city being so nature and outdoor centric, the name of the game here is really to utilize that, where not every city would offer that in the same capacity. Hiking, camping, biking, running on trails, surfing's a good opportunity here, which Gulf Coast doesn't have as much. Paddleboarding, yoga while paddleboarding, even horseback riding. There's a lot at your disposal. So taking advantage of the park system and what's unique about the city is what I would drive home here. Okay, and lastly, let's talk social demographics in Jacksonville, Florida. So again here, you have the largest city on the list. Largest city in the entire state of Florida, just under 1 million people in the population, 13th largest city in the entire United States, and your average age is going to sit right about 35, 36 years old, which puts you right in there with Tampa, a little bit older than like a Tallahassee, a little bit younger than like a Sarasota or Naples, but puts you right in the mix there overall with everywhere else on this list. All right, folks, that does it for this video. I hope it added you some value. If you're asking yourself, what do I do next? Where do we go from here? The best thing you can do at this step would go to adamhancockgroup.com. We'll put the link somewhere up here as well. We serve multiple markets, and we have a ton of, probably more content on the state of Florida than anyone in the entire state, maybe country. So it's a great place to start. Every video we've ever done, you can search it, and there's a lot of resources right there. It's all completely free. Check that out. Need anything else? Use one of our many contact options, and we'll see you on the next one.